Day 15 of 365 days of meditation. Today's meditation was interesting. I definitely had a few good takeaways from it. I did a guided meditation by Joe Dispenza called The Generous Present Moment. I've never done it before. It took about 47 minutes, I believe. And it's part of the online class of his that I'm working through right now. So, sat down a little bit later today. It was about 7:30, I think, when I started in the morning. And one of the key takeaways was sort of the reminder at the beginning of the meditation to focus on the darkness behind the eyes, the nothingness, kind of fall into it or let it fall towards you, depending on how you experience it. But just focus on that. So the reminder not to bring my awareness to the sensations in my body, to the sounds going on outside around me, just to focus on nothing. That was sort of the reminder that I got today, which was good because I feel like the last few days I've really been focused a lot on the sensation in the body, and it was a good reminder that that's not necessarily where I need to or want to put my awareness in meditation, especially if it's not feeling good. So that's what I did. Joe talks you through that process initially, I think for the first about 5 minutes, and then it's just music, nice, relaxing, sort of uplifting but relaxing music playing, and you just sit there still listening to that, bringing the attention back to the nothingness, the darkness behind the eyes and all around. So it was excellent. At the end of the about 45-minute mark, probably, I started to feel a lot of emotion welling up in the body, strong emotion. And for me, that strong emotional sensation always sort of happens down, I don't know, like in the core of the body, down the bottom part of the stomach, the pit of the stomach, or even below it, if the stomach. And then I feel it sort of rising up, and then I feel a huge amount of tension happen in the chest and the throat, and kind of gets stuck there. This emotion, it's like I don't want to let it up, and I know what the emotion is. I've experienced it a lot, and I've experienced that response to it a lot in the past. For me, that emotion is basically, it's the signal that tears are about to come. And I don't know if anyone else can relate to this, but societally we are taught that boys don't cry, men don't cry, definitely. And so I learned the habit of suppressing that pain and the emotion and the tears that come as a result of feeling pain or suffering. And anyone who's ever experienced any sort of significant depression or anxiety or mental health struggles knows that tears are part of it. And for me, whenever those tears would rise up, and I'm talking, from 7, 8 years old onward, I would try and suppress them. I thought they were a bad thing. I thought they were something I shouldn't be experiencing. I would judge the way I was feeling. I would get angry with myself for feeling that way. I would sort of hate myself for feeling that way, attack myself for feeling that way, which was really, really not helpful. And in suppressing those emotions and trying to avoid them, I'm sort of abandoning the way I feel in that moment and abandoning myself in that moment. And I habitually did that over and over and over again all throughout my life from childhood onward. I obviously realize now that it's extremely unhelpful. And during the meditation, I sort of had this dialogue with myself, and I've experienced this before. It's almost like I'm observing a dialogue going on within my own mind. I'm like almost an observer rather than the participant in the dialogue. Sometimes I feel like I'm more of a participant, asking questions to my subconscious. Other times it feels like more I'm just sitting back and watching this dialogue go on within my own brain, and it's like the old self and the new self sort of having a conversation to figure out why we should move forward and think a different way and behave a different way and believe different things, and the old self's sort of coming up with all the reasons why we shouldn't. That's at least what it feels like. And today, when I started to feel that and observe this conversation, I posed the question, or at least I started the mantra of, I love myself even when there are tears. And so I'm already feeling an emotional, quite a significant emotional state. I feel myself sort of suppressing it. And then I offered that up as a mantra, suggested it to the subconscious. I did it a few times, and then boom, it starts to well up even more, and the tears start to flow a bit. And it's interesting because I've heard Joe Dispenza talk about the idea that when you get into that sort of theta state or deeper, you're liberating energy from the body, and it comes up through the heart and then out through the mind once you're allowing it into the heart area of the body. And that's exactly what it feels like. It feels like it's trapped down below, sort of this emotion wells up in the body, and then everything tightens up in here, and I don't let it up. I just push it down. So it was really interesting today to not push it down, to just allow myself to experience it. There's definitely still a lot of resistance there. I've trained myself to just push it down over the years, and push it down and avoid it and ignore it, suppress it, judge it, etc. But I tried to allow it today, and yeah, it felt really good. From there, I asked the question, what would my life look like if I love myself through the tears? And when I asked that question, I didn't get any sort of visualization of a future or anything like that, or any events or experiences or things in my life in the future. I just got a tremendous sense of ease wash over the body, and that's pretty neat for me, because in past meditations I've sort of meditated on the idea of and written about after the fact this idea of having a desire for just a sense of ease, peace, calm, and I got a glimpse of it today. So what I realized was that if I'm seeking this sense of ease, the requirement is to love myself through the tears, but really what it means is to connect with myself regardless of the emotional state that I'm in. So to experience myself authentically, not suppress myself, and to sort of just surrender into the moment, whatever it is that I'm experiencing, and allow it. And that full range of emotions that are possible to experience are healthy, they are normal, and what is not healthy and not normal is pushing them down. And whatever you suppress will pop back up at an inopportune time, and also sort of suppressing myself results in a depressed state. So that was sort of the realization for today. It was helpful. It was interesting because during this dialogue that was going on in my head that I was observing the old self, one of the things that it brought up was, are you going to talk about this on your YouTube channel? There was a sense of vulnerability, and I had to make the decision that I'm going to talk about it even on this YouTube channel, and sort of put myself out there. And it feels a little bit strange to be doing it even in this moment, a little bit uncomfortable, but there's that desire to stretch beyond where I'm at. And if I want to sort of live my life to its fullest, experience my life to its fullest, that means experiencing all of what my life has to bring and experiencing all of the emotions that come up in my life. So that was it. Maybe a big topic. I'm not sure if I covered all the details of the meditation itself, but that was sort of the key takeaway from today. And it felt awesome. And I wrote about it after, I journaled about it a bit, and it felt really good to even write about it. So feels good to even talk about it at this moment in time on this video recording. Anyway, that's it. In short, or in closing, I guess, if you are feeling like you are unable to cope with the emotions that are rising up in you, or if you feel like you continue to suppress them and it's leading to a depressed state or a very anxious state, if you don't know how to navigate the emotions you're experiencing in your life, or you feel like you're not able to regulate yourself and it's causing you a lot of distress, if you're feeling depressed or anxious or suicidal or anything along those lines, talk to somebody, talk to somebody, talk to somebody. It's going to help you a lot. It has helped me a lot. And I mean, I'm talking to somebody right now, talking to you if you're watching this video. And if you've never meditated before, and you're interested, I mean, give it a whirl. You know, if you're not in a great place right now and you try something different, what's the worst thing that could happen? You know, if you're at the bottom, you can only go up. And if you're at the bottom as a result of what you're thinking and believing and feeling and experiencing, then thinking, believing, feeling, experiencing something different might be able to get you up off that bottom. So, yeah, again, in closing, if you're struggling and with your mental health, talk to somebody, talk to somebody, talk to somebody. That's it. Have a wonderful day.